Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Chancellor, David Gonski AC. One of Australia's most prominent business leaders and philanthropists, David Gonski has been a formidable advocate for education, the university and its mission. Mr. Gonski has a long association with UNSW. He is the first UNSW alumnus to hold the position of Chancellor, elected in 2005. He is also the chairman of the UNSW Foundation, and his role has been absolutely critical in building the university's philanthropic culture and support. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thanks, Bronwyn. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly I want to acknowledge Selina Chow and also her partner, Debbie Chang. Without you, we wouldn't be here today, and without you, we wouldn't have seen an incredible presentation together with all the other things we've seen. So thank you, and I have to say, he deserves it. The Chancellor's life is quite a dull one until I met Selina 2 years ago, and she and Debbie, we chatted, and I've got to say I've still been working on all that fuel and enthusiasm you gave us, and we thank you very much for it. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, talking about enthusiastic and wonderful people, I also acknowledge Dave Sharma. It's wonderful for him to be here, and I've got to say, having him as one of our senators in the big smoke of Canberra makes me sleep much better at night. So thank you very much, Dave. As I sat through today, I had this mixture of emotions. First, an enormous pride that this happened at the University of New South Wales. Thank you to all of you for coming here today. Thanks to those who put it together, and thanks to Selina and indeed Debbie for allowing us to do this at the University of New South Wales. This was then mixed with hope. I mean, if I'm going to have one of those tumours, I really want to have histotripsy. So if you don't get it through, Dave, we'll have to all do a deal through the airport, which I have an interest in, and we'll be off to America. So thank you. Then there was envy, that wonderful buzz of the entrepreneur, of the founder. Congratulations to each and every one of you who performed today and showed us what really we should be envious of. People in Australia wanting to do things, absolutely marvellous. And I should mention people doing things around the world as well, also fantastic. But it was mixed, I have to say, with a bit of sadness. I'm not a founder. I don't have that get up and go to do. And finally, I've got to say, I still think that LLM is a master of laws. So you can imagine how I feel, and I might say I'm the only person wearing a tie here today. Ladies and gentlemen, because time is moving, let me move to the secret announcement that was on page 13 of the Sydney Morning Herald this morning. It is an enormous pleasure on behalf of the whole university to announce a transformative donation of $30 million from the H.S. Chow Foundation. This generous donation came from an idea that Selina and Debbie had as we walked round 2 years ago. They said they would do it. We, of course, wondered. 2 years later, they've delivered. And what are they delivering on? Well, we're going to build the New Horizons building using this money. And as part of that building, we're going to establish the H.S. Chow College. Now, this college will be unique for this university because it'll be a home for female STEM students. It'll nurture leadership, collaboration, and a strong sense of community. And in my opinion, and I've only been here 20 years and 4 months, we really need this. And this is going to bring us into line with other international universities. Thank you sincerely to the Foundation, to Selina, to Debbie, and to all that have been involved. We appreciate it. And the wonderful thing, just as you sit there watching the wonderful things that that machine did, come back in 10 years' time and see the wonderful graduates who've been through that college of yours and who will think the college changed their lives, just as somebody said that Baxter College changed theirs earlier today. Thank you for being here, and I think it is a great honor for me to call upon Selina to talk to us. Selina.
Well, thank you. Thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone. And thank you, Senator Sharma and Chancellor Gonski, for your kind words of introduction. It is a privilege to be considered a friend of the university and a friend of New South Wales. So, myself, in 4 words. I'm a Christian. I think I'm a learner. I'm a traveler and an enthusiast, as you can see. And a one-liner about our company, Horizons Ventures. We are hard at work advancing science and technology for yield and impact. So, one word for my time with New South Wales University, pivotal. Pivotal is the word that always springs to my mind when I think back to my days in University of New South Wales. Coming to Australia was my first adventure beyond the city of Hong Kong, and Sydney's sheer vastness made the world felt both wonderfully inspiring and humbling. Between the wide open spaces and mental space of the university, I somehow found myself reading and rereading Don Quixote, a book that recalibrated my perspective on what mission is, what competence is, and what service is all about. It changed my life. Perhaps more than any lecture. Okay? Was Cervantes' famous line, "I know who I am and who I can be." Well, in the modern day business MBA courses it is a classic Dunning-Kruger effect and remains a constant reminder for every aspirant how pitfalls of misperceptions can complicate the present and cloud your future. It was here at the University of New South Wales, surrounded by Australia's special brand of practical idealism, that I began shaping my own philosophy and outlook in life. So it was very simple. Before deciding who I want to be, I must first understand who I don't want to be. Only then can I begin to imagine who I ought to become. This insight continues to guide my quests and perspectives, whether the improbable can be achieved through venture investment, and if so, how? Can I become the most able enabler for myself and for others? I remain profoundly grateful for the opportunity to be part of UN's University of New South Wales and your ongoing story. So please accept this heartfelt gift from me and Team Horizons as a token of our deep appreciation for the university that helped me find both my direction and perhaps myself. I want to end with sharing with you all that last week I bought a new sculpture for our office, a Swarovski-cladded, gold-plated dinosaur skeleton. As a reminder to myself, if I lose my open mind and don't recalibrate myself time and again, I am but a Swarovski-cladded, gold-plated dead fossil, which I don't want to be. Thank you again for joining our lab Techcracker event today, and thank you very much for the opportunity, your kind words, and your company. Thank you so much.
Something to take on the tongue.